You did everything right, and now you're broke. That's not sarcasm, because you really did. You followed the plan, you avoided traps, you kept your head down and played it safe. You were the responsible one, but that is exactly the problem. The rules you followed were written for an economy that just doesn't exist anymore. It's like being handed a map of 1970s New York and wondering why you keep getting lost. Now, you were told to go to school, get good grades, get a steady job, save a little, buy a home, and retire at 65. That formula used to work. It was never perfect, but it was functional. Because wages rose with inflation, houses were still affordable, and loyalty to a company could actually mean something. But now you get a $1,800 rent bill, maybe a 3% raise if you're lucky, and a tax system that actually doesn't know what to do with somebody like you. Someone who is responsible but stuck in the middle. And when it doesn't add up, you don't panic. You assume you just need to work a little harder, or try a little harder. Work more, spend less, cut out the little joys that made life bearable. And then you think maybe that'll fix it all. But the reality is that it will not. Not because you failed the system, but because the system has failed you. Value is extracted, not from time, but from leverage, from ownership, from scale, from attention, from capital, none of which were part of the plan that you were handed. You were told to avoid debt. Meanwhile, corporations use it as fuel. You were told to save. Meanwhile, inflation eats away your savings faster than your salary can keep up. You were told to specialize. Meanwhile, the economy rewards flexibility, creativity, and the ability to adapt across multiple domains. It's not that you made a mistake, you were just never told the update. So let's give it to you now. The real reason you're broke isn't because you're lazy, or because you're irresponsible, or even too late. You're broke because you've been trying to outdiscipline a game that now runs on a different operating system. So what do? Now, if you're expecting me to say start investing, build leverages, own assets, yes, those things still matter. But let's not actually pretend that those ideas are revolutionary anymore. You've heard them already, probably from me, probably 5 times already. So instead of giving you the same checklist, let's actually do something else. Let's anchor why all of that still matters. Because without this deeper understanding, even the best financial advice just becomes background noise. You don't need another tip. You need a shift in posture. The posture of someone who no longer asks, what should I do? But instead asks, what field am I playing in? This question alone separates those who build wealth from those who spend their lives running in place. Most people still think that they are playing the game to be a good worker, to be consistent, and eventually that they'll be okay. But the reality is that that game is over. The current game is one of systems, of positioning, of optionality. Wealth isn't a straight line anymore. It's a web. The people who win aren't always the smartest or the most skilled. They are the ones who built something once that keeps paying them. They are the ones who got in early on ideas that just compounded. The ones who learned to position themselves where upside was possible. And they are the ones who saw risk as a tool, not as a threat. The people who do well now aren't working more. They are thinking differently. They are acting from a different mental model. They've accepted that the world has changed, and they've adjusted. Now, you don't have to go and blow up your life. You don't need to turn into a YouTuber or a crypto trader or buy 6 properties next month. You just need to stop assuming that you're behind because you made bad choices. The truth is, you're behind because you've made the right choices for the wrong version of the world. Now that you see it, you now adjust. In actionable steps, start small, start local, start with the belief that you are not the problem, that the model is, and then slowly, deliberately begin replacing pieces of the model. Not because someone told you to, but because you finally understand that the game you're actually playing, and this time, you aren't playing it with your eyes closed.